Hey everybody, it's Bus, continuing our playthrough of the Path of Champions. Today, we're taking on the 2.5-star quest, the Glorious Executioner, going up to battle with Draven, using our 2-star Evelynn. So, to get you up to date on our strategy, we're currently at star power level 2. We get the +1 starting mana. The first time you kill a follower, that's a non-champion unit on either side of the board, we get a fleeting copy of it in our hand, and then the big Evelynn ability, the Peak of Ecstasy. Whenever you level up an allied champion, you give your allies everywhere +1/+1. To help tie in all of this, we did unlock the second relic, the common relic, so we're going back to using the Chameleon's Necklace, and then the big high-powered play we're making out of the rare space is the Crown Guard Inheritance with the level up rally. Since Evelynn can level up multiple times in the same game, getting that +1/+1 multiple times, getting the rally multiple times is the kind of critical factor in terms of making this Evelynn pop off. And so, that's it. I'm ready for battle. Hope you are too. Let's head on in, see if we can get the best of Draven. Alright, maps all coming about. Lee Sin in the middle, Draven at the end. Let's see what turns up. Something cool, I assure you. Oh my gosh, Evolution. This is one of the most ridiculous powers that you can get for Evelynn. It may be better than all of the legendaries as well. I'm not entirely certain if it's better than Duplicate or whatever, the one that plays copies of everything you play, but most certainly an S tier power getting attached to the Evolution here. I assure you we're just going to face smash the rest of this adventure. And so, into battle with the Noxcria Arena. At the game start, the foe summons a Noxcria Arena. A little challenging in a degree, given that all of our husks are very small units. The opponent should be able to fight down all of our husks at the end of the turn, but we're still going to be quite strong here. Okay, so the way I like to start these games is I want to start with one husk-making unit. Here we started with Domination, and then outside of that, I want to mulligan for Evelynn. And so we do have the extra copies of Evelynn in our deck here today. Hopefully she won't be too challenging to come in and level up, too challenging to come in and find copies of, but that's the game plan we're bringing. See here, that was my initial worry with the Noxcria Arena. He's getting these free shots down at our husks. He's now grown his Legion rearguard to the scary level of attack, but I think we're okay here. We have the hate spike in hand. The Warden's Prey is a nice sacrificable unit. We're going to start taking his squad down much easier. Alright, so he's going to drop a Kingpin. Works for me. We can now kill off our Warden's Prey, and then it'll come right back to our hand since we have the Evelynn ability that gives us the first dead ally each round. Dead follower, not dead ally. Here we go. Look at all those stats. And so the thing with Evolution, right, I'm pretty sure the way that this works is we get that husk on the board, right? We don't have any husk summoners right now, but we get the husk on board. It has a keyword, so it gets the +1/+1. We play an additional unit. The unit gets all of the stats from the husk. That includes that +1/+1 that we just picked up. And then the unit then picks up the keyword. And so since it has the keyword, it gets the additional bonuses. Just a big collection of synergies coming out of the Evolution. It should help us take this down quite easily. Alright, opponent's dropping the thumbs up, but we still got the lethal on board. GG, my friend. Okay, next battle. So what do we got here? Feel the Rush? That's a great way to get the Evelynns on the board. I'm not particularly interested in any of these. We don't need to do anything with Shards of the Mountain. Earthshaker's too expensive. Feel the Rush is too expensive. Just come in and try and find a cheap play. I could see an argument for either Fury of the North or the Thrashing Snapper. Just got to go with the Snapper because it's the cheap one. All right, into the support champions. I'm ideally going to look for one kind of catch-all removal spell. That's what we look for in every deck. A Vengeance, Homecoming, some kind of even just a stun, whatever, some way to interact with our opponent. Something a little bit better than Hate Spike, right? Hate Spike really is limited to just small units, and so I want to find a way to deal with this Lee Sin that we're about to battle, or deal with this Draven for a turn. So still nothing. I'm going to keep mulliganing away. We could look to potentially take Azir, since we do summon a bunch of units and then those summons tie into the Azir level up, but I'm just so focused on Evelynn at this point, I don't think it's that big of a deal. So we'll take one more mulligan, see if we can't find a removal spell. We could technically look towards Concussive Palm. That does count as removal. Otherwise, we'd be looking towards this Ruthless Predator with Renekton, which I think is the one that we actually want. This big boy Renekton here with the Radiant Plate Armor. I think we can get enough work done with the Ruthless Predator. Our units are big, right? Is that okay? Well, I'll pick up the Concussive Palm. It's like I know we're about to come in and battle Lee Sin, and I want to be ready for it. And taking the Ruthless Predator isn't the best way to deal with a big barriered champion. And so Concussive Palm will have to get the job done. So looking at these, I want to move towards the champion item chest. These are one of the top tier things to be putting onto Evelynn. She's just so key to all of our strategy. I'll head here. Otherwise, it's a gold chest or a spells chest, neither of which are critical to our deck. So onto the River Shaper at the round start. The foe gets a fleeting deny, costs 2 mana. Doesn't matter. We just picked up our first spell that's even targetable with deny. I guess you could target Hate Spike with it. Hate Spike isn't a burst spell, but very limited amount of cards the opposing power can take advantage of. All right, we had our Huskmaker, we had our Evelynn ready to get started here. And those big time catalysts of the Aeons. I like what you're about, River Shaper. Just out here ramping with the best of them. So we've got a 3-5. We'll go with Vora. We would ideally be adding Domination here, but Domination dies to the River Shaper and doesn't take it down in combat. So we'll at least accept that we get a block here and not lose our unit in the process. All right, and then I think I am just leaning towards playing Domination. It's the problem we run into here with adding Evelynn is we don't get a ton of value out of it, right? We end up losing the Husk that would be coming to our hand. We're just burning through a rally. It's not a really high-valued proposition there. And so with this setup, we can add the Enraged Husk. We can go into the next turn. We can add our Evelynn. Evelynn's going to give us that rally. Just a lot more high-powered things that we're going to be doing here. See, we got our 4-5 Husk on the board. Evelynn's going to eat that. Get that giant collection of stats. A little bit stronger here. Look at that. How big are you now? Gonna be like a 12-12? 13-13? Maybe even a million. Who knows? the stats are so big. 11-12, sure. 12-13, even better. Got ourselves a rally in the process. Now we're about to pop off. All right. Is he still afraid to attack into us? Appears to be the case. All right. Get our crack back. Send in the Vora. Interesting. Well, I guess he does draw a spell off the River Shaper, but loses his unit in the process. All right, so we do get this kind of free open attack here. Oh shit, our Evelynn's already leveled up. That's not as awesome as I wanted. I thought that we were going to get another attack, and then I missed that she was going to fall back down. We can't counterspell all this stuff opponent's about to do, so we don't have to just replay her, but that even feels kind of low value. Sad day, Evelynn. Not your fault. This is user error. But we can add some more giant units onto the board. We'll get the Husk back in hand, replay it, keep the stat train going. Oh, we already had one go back. Man, this is a ton of user error. But this at least showcases why the rallies are so important, why I like to go after the overwhelm abilities onto Evelynn if we can. We've got all these stats on the board, but we can't actually come in and close out the game. And so if opponent just puts down, a 2-2 and a 3-3, and then they have a concussive palm in hand or something, they're going to be able to pretty handily answer everything that we've done and not take any damage. And so we're really looking for a way to rally, overwhelm, or elusive, as we always talk about in our constructed videos. The Husks aren't really playing nicely today in terms of giving our Evelynn elusive or overwhelm. Just all the furies, all the quick attacks. Not an exciting collection of abilities. Yeah, see, check them out. We got this quick attacking, spell shielded Husk. We've got this furied Husk. None of that's going to help our steam get in for the big damages. Oh, sweet, Amina. I want my I want my Evelynn back so we can counterspell this one. All right, well, at least he did target some spell shields in there, and so didn't send everything back to hand. All right, we got a big Vora. Add a fresh Husk. Come in with Evelynn. Do have one challenger in here, so we should be able to lethal on this one.
I love it when they scream.
Uh-oh, it's got more stuff at us. Oh my god, we're gonna be one short. Exactly what I was talking about. Exactly, right? Need those rallies, need those overwhelms to punch that damage in. I don't, we're not going to lose this game. This game is squarely in our favor, but, it does open the opponent up with some opportunities to potentially come in for additional damage, right? This Empyrean hits us for 6. It's, again, not going to be enough to end the game on us, but it's still a weakening of our stat line coming into another battle. All right. Mistakes aside, we were able to achieve victory. So what do we want to do with these? Don't want Intimidating Roar. Glimpse Beyond, it's useful with these style of decks, but we're not like hurting for card advantage, right? You could see that game, we still had like 5 or 6 cards in our hand at the end of the game. So I'm not super interested in it. And then the Void Abomination is just too expensive. And so I guess we'll just go with the Intimidating Roar. Like, Glimpse Beyond does work with the Husks and stuff, but just don't feel like we need it. Alright, Champion Item Chest. There's the Overwhelm we were talking about. Sounds great to me. On to battle with the Eye of the Dragon. This can be a fairly tough and awkward battle for a lot of those same reasons. And so when the foe plays the first spell each round, they summon a Dragonling. The foe's Dragonlings have +3 attack. And so I don't remember the entire spell suite that's in this deck, but it has it has a bunch of concussive palms. It might have Steel Tempest. They're able to put a bunch of just high-valued blockers on the board. It can be very challenging for us to actually come in here and get a win. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have taken that Intimidating Roar, as all of our opponents have 5 attack in this run. But we'll see if we can't make our way through. All right, Viper Wing on board. Shouldn't have to worry about opponent playing a 1-cost spell and putting down a 5-cost blocker, or 5-attack blocker. And so I think we can safely attack, try and wear down the Eye of the Dragon a little bit. Right. Well, interesting choice in Concussive Palm. I don't know if that was the best choice, but it was a choice. All right, then we need to do some blocking. Just take away the Dragon Maker. I think this deck does play things like Return, Recall, whatever it's called. So he does have some opportunities to return this Tail of the Dragon back to his hand, but not something I'm super worried about. And now the thing we have to worry about is, say, I'd like to get Evelynn down, but I'm leaning towards the Domination, just so we can build up our Husk plays, and then try and get a rally next turn. There's this nice elusive Husk down here at the bottom. So with these attacks, you do have to watch yourself a little bit. If opponent's going to burst down a spell, they would then have a 5-attack blocker. Looks like they didn't have it here, but always something to be mindful of. Now we can pop off. Get ready to watch some animations.
While I see what's inside. That's it.
Alright, we'll see if we can end here. You can say he's very good at making these rando blockers, very good at dropping things like Concussive Palm.
Shut up and scream.
Alright, do we have a lethal here? We have the Challenger in the Domination. We got there just barely. Exactly 23. We didn't get there just barely. I did the mathematics the whole way through. I knew that was exactly how the game was going to play out. So, you're welcome. You're welcome for that that glorious and powerful play. Okay, so anything interesting here? Got Kaisa. Kaisa does play quite nicely with all of the keywords and abilities we have running around. She's a little expensive, but we're never going to use Retreat or the Ether Fiend. So sure, you're a champion, I guess. Welcome to the club. Then we have a shop or a solitary monk. The monk lets you cut cards. I think I'm happy enough with the monk. Our deck is getting kind of built up with garbage we don't want. Right, I don't want Thrashing Snapper, I don't want Crawling Viper Worm. I'm usually pretty happy to cut out Steam. Intimidating Roar is pretty bad, Yone is expensive, and so I think I would rather cut out something bad than add something mediocre to good, because I think our deck is already good enough, given that we have the evolution power. And so I think I'm still going to hang on to the Intimidating Roar. Like, that's tough. It's like it's just like the build-up here, right, with the... You see the Draven power from here? Yeah, round start, give the foe's strongest unit 2 attack. It's just a really tough board for us to get an Intimidating Roar that works. But it should still work against like Lee Sin and his friends. I think it'll be okay. It's either going to be like Steam or Yone. And I think Yone is probably the weaker option. It's a little too expensive for my tastes. Now coming into the healer, get to cut another one. I'm still going to keep the Steam. I'm going to keep the Roar. I'm leaning towards either the Viper Worm or the Snapper, and I think we'll just cut the Snapper out here. The Viper Worm at least has Fury, kind of builds into some of our plays. I don't want it, don't get me wrong, but I think it's just a little bit more on theme than the Thrashing Snapper. So here, onto Lee Sin. When the foe's units attack, they create 2 resonating strikes in hand. They cost 0. Lets them make really aggressive early game plays and then really combo off their Lee Sin later in the game. All right, we can take a first turn hit if that's what it comes down to. I'm going to hang on to Vora, mulligan for some Evelynns. Didn't find her. And Eye of the Dragon. So I'm just going to assume that whatever unit we play is going to die in combat, right? He's going to attack. He's going to have the 2 resonating strikes and be able to kill our unit. But the thing you can typically do against this opponent on this play is just don't block, right? If you don't block, he doesn't get an opportunity to play more cards. So we're just going to take the 1 damage on this turn. Okay, you can play your post-combat resonating strikes. Add your Claws of the Dragon to the board. Man, I miss Claws of the Dragon so much. This was one of these really fun decks you could build in Expedition, and he's just non-existent and constructed now. Sad day. Sad day. Alright, but I'm going to continue to play this a little slow. I want to just keep our 2 blockers on board and keep the mana up for Hate Spike, and then from this point forward, we can look to build up our Husk units. May find an opportunity to kill Lee Sin. We'll see. Usually don't in this spot, but we'll see. So let's try and load damage up on him. Put a block here in front of the Claws of the Dragon. That's kind of a freebie. And then I'm looking to Hate Spike away the Warden's Prey. Maybe we don't Hate Spike the Warden's Prey. I'd prefer our first unit die to be a Husk, so we just get to replay a Husk, but... Maybe that's okay. Let's see how he responds. So there's the barrier for Lee Sin. I think this is how we want to take him. We don't get a takedown here, but we get to put a bunch of damage onto Lee. I think that's okay. Didn't hit good on the husks, though. We're really hoping to hit a challenger. Let us take in Lee. This is okay, though. It's a nice board for Kaisa, and then we can reasonably next turn hit a good intimidating roar. But is that even where we want to go? Like, we could get Sultur and Domination on the board and then still look to intimidating roar next turn. I think that's okay. He doesn't get the resonating strikes until he attacks. Let's give it a shot.
I should stamp you out like the insect you are.
2 units is a pretty scary place to be, though.
I fight with my spirit, not my fists.
Our enemies would be foolish to underestimate.
Don't waste my time.
All right, opponent, do my favorite thing for you to do, and that is something dumb. And so there is a real chance that he's going to try and add a unit to the board here before he attacks, and that would be fantastic. Horns of the Dragon can be tough to deal with, but this looks like a pretty back-breaking, intimidating roar if it works, and it did. Beautiful, beautiful. Yep. Still not strong enough to take down. Oh, he's hitting hitting the Horns of the Dragon. That's a decision. A decision was made. You know, maybe not the best one, but it was a decision. And our Kaisa, unfortunately, nowhere near evolved, but I think we gotta get her on board. I'm hoping we can get in kind of the same spot we were in last turn, to where are we just dead to a dragon kick? It's a 6 damage dragon kick. Ugh. Okay. That's pretty bad. Because right, the thing I was really kind of counting on here was to be able to attack, get opponent to sacrifice off a unit, and then play another unit next turn. So we get to pull off the second intimidating roar. Not quite sure if we're going to be able to do that now. Let's see what happens. Let's add in a Viper Worm. We'll put Impact onto Kaisa. We can attack with the Sultur and the Kaisa, and then hopefully opponent blocks both, right? They have the free block with this thing. Oh, shit. Man, he did block both. I guess we got what we wanted in that sense, but didn't get the unit dead. All right, play unit. Play unit. Okay. Okay. All we can ask for. All we can hope for. Oh, F. Okay. And then we're still just dead to Lee Sin. He's going to dragon kick us down. GG. But, you know, I feel like that was a pretty good effort in a game where we didn't draw Evelynn. And so she's just key and pivotal to our strategy, and not drawing her is a pretty painful way to fight through a game. You can typically make it through the standard battles, but the boss battles are a real pain in the B. Little pain in the B, the D, or the V. Wherever you want it the least, that's where the pain is. All right, let's give this another go. Do we even want a Viper Worm? It's like, I guess I'd rather store up some of this mana for a hate spike. I'm not excited about it, but maybe. Alright, same deal as that last game. Just going to go ahead and take the damage. So when he tries to resonating strike, we don't lose our unit. Don't take that extra damage. Okay, now we should be able to start punching through here. I'm not going to add Evelynn this turn because we have this elusive husk on the board. And so I'm hoping that we get to put elusive on domination, come in for some damage, replay the husk. So we have the elusive husk next turn for our Evelynn. And then we're in a spot to where we should be able to lethal on our next attack token.
Don't waste my time.
See this intimidating roar making flashies at us. Maybe that'll be a thing. I mean, we could intimidating roar this board. He has the scary unit and the scales of the dragon. I don't think I'm a huge fan of that. Our Evelynn's going to be big enough to get in front of it. Even if it's 10 attack, I think she's going to be like an 11 health.
Impress me. Mind if I slip into something a little more painful?
Just get ourselves the opportunity for victory here. Yeah, that's right. You make emotes, bruh.
Our enemies cannot hide.
Okay, he's pretty far away from flipping. I feel okay. All right, well that was another decision. Opponent made a decision. Just putting resonating strikes on Lee Sin now and not attacking. Okay, okay. Well,
Useless.
we might be all right now. Get our elusive Zen. Got the elusive husk ready to come back down.
Don't waste my time.
So our Evelynn gonna flip. Okay, good. So we should be getting 2 attacks out of Evelynn now. We have the last caress in hand to counterspell any shenanigans the opponent has. This one should be done. GG. So much easier that way, right? Compared to the previous game to where we didn't have Evelynn, and the previous game to where we didn't have an overwhelm or an elusive to husk onto. Just easy game when things come together right. All right, so again, we're going to add more Evelynns in. Interesting Kaisa here, but I think we want Evelynn, and we'll put Regenerate on her. We do run into some spots to where... excuse me, the Evelynn needs to be a big blocker. Say like in that last game, right? To where we block our opponent's supposed 10 attack unit. She survives at 2 health, and then if she doesn't have, the elusive or the quick attack, the regenerate can be a good way to get her back up to good health. All right, picking up that ability onto the powers. Let's see, Wild Inspiration does work quite well here, right? All of those husks that we're sending back to our hand are going to be created cards, and then they're going to be free when we play them. That sounds quite good. I was thinking of the Armed Gearhead as well. It's kind of in a similar vein, right? It gets the +1/+1 from the evolution because it has quick attack. It gets another +1. It's actually a 3/3 from the evolution because it has quick attack augment. And then as we play those created cards off of our ability, that's going to boost up the augments as well. But I think I'm just a little bit more interested in cheating on the mana instead of having those units on the board. All right, so here we either got an item chest or a rare spells chest. I'm a little bit more interested in the item chest. I don't want to be adding rando cards to our deck anymore, and hopefully we'll get to stack up on one of our husk units here. So we do have to battle the Horns of the Dragon. The foes units have quick attack. Hopefully we'll just be bigger than all of them. Not a bad place to be, right? Just bigger than all your opponent's stuff. All right, we got a Husk Maker. Mulligan the other 3 away. Look for an Evelynn. Didn't turn up. That's okay. Get to show some of our created card combos now. Okay, can't block. You're too big. Guess we could have blocked, prevented just to prevent the damage. Right, we're gonna be strong anyways, but at least we get a trade on the crackback. Let's see, now we get the husk in hand. It costs 0. We'll be able to add it to the board. Get these chains going every turn. I don't think I'm quite ready to attack with domination. If we get 1 takedown here, I think that's good. If it comes down to it on this next turn, we can just hate spike the Greenglade Lookout. We're now a concussive palm. I just want a concussive palm. Go ahead and get our big unit on the board. Oh, you don't eat the husk, though? That's lame. When you play an ally. Okay. It does help to read your cards every once in a while, you know? learn a top-notch strategy from Bust. Maybe just read your cards every once in a while, you know? Maybe you'll learn a thing or two.
Don't waste my time.
All right. I think I'm good to just attack with everybody now. The domination's not going to find a board to where she's getting a positive attack. Our prankster is still big enough to block a jeweled protector with +2/+2. I think it's safe enough at this point. Evelynn finally turns up. And this is one of the interesting things as well with our Evelynn. You see that she costs 3. We have the 2 copies in our deck from the Chameleon's Necklace that count as created cards. So, nice little combo there as well.
See what's beneath while I see what's inside. That's it.
Looky there, everybody's big, ready to block, ready to get the shutdowns on Dum Dum's turn here. We'll call it a day. Still going to attack. I didn't expect that. We'll take the 2 damage. No choice. Is that really big enough? Oh, it had double strike, didn't it? It didn't just have... Okay. Well, rip Evelynn. You fought your hardest and you put in some work today. Sorry you didn't get to see the game win screen, but you tried. Alright, then both of our units are big enough for lethal, so we can just take an open attack. Opponent has a stun or a recall, then the second unit should get the damage in. Alright, so what do we got? Phantom Pranksters capturing units sounds absolutely fantastic. Quite strong addition to the deck. Into the item chest. What do we got? Salter with Tough or Vora with Pickaxe? That's kind of tough. I think I want the Salter. He's not a little bit cheaper. He's 1 cheaper than Vora. And I think that's more important than her having the big stats. So welcome aboard. Into the shop. The power. Sorcery, quite good. Our deck isn't really loaded up on spell mana things, but it's still really good even with just a handful of spells. We could look to pick up this single copy of Void Seeker since we'll just draw it every game anyways. It's not impossible for us to get evolved either, so I'm kind of interested in it. Otherwise, don't want the Bandle Tree, don't want the Wildcat, don't really want Double Up. The Shadow Assassin is quite strong in its ability to just double draw cards, but I don't think our deck needs that. And then Succumb to the Cold, pretty awkward. I wouldn't be opposed to Frostbites, right? Frostbites are pretty strong against Draven, but when we're summoning these Frozen Thralls onto the board, they're going to take up the space that a Husk would want, and I don't want to clog up our board. So I'm just going to pick 1 copy of Void Seeker. We can move on. So on to the next set, we either have a spells chest to the left or a champion item chest to the right. Gonna go for the epic champion item chest. So, versus the Scales of the Dragon. At round start, if the foe has the attack token, you give the foe's units +0/+2. Otherwise, give them +2/+0. So they get the bonus health on attack, bonus attack on defense. Yeah, I forgot Yasuo was even in our deck. But pretty reasonable start here. We have the Husk to just start on turn 2. The Prankster to come down on turn 3, eat a unit, let us replay a Husk, and then with the Husk costing 0, it doesn't take very much micromanagement to keep our units growing. So we can just play Evelynn this turn. We do have the cheap one in hand, but I think I want to get this big unit off of the board, and then try and play Evelynn on next turn when we don't have the attack token and we can get the rally. See, look how bad these blocks are now. Okay, so Warden's Prey can come in. It's going to get the Husk kill. The Husk will come back to hand. We'll replay it. And then we're going to play Evelynn.
Was hoping you'd stop by. She's been missing you. Has she? Maybe I'll satisfy her cravings.
Maybe we should have done that the other way. So we would have gotten the +1/+1s onto the Husks. It's not a huge deal.
That's it.
All right, now hope you're ready to block. So, what you got here, opponent? You are just getting smoked. All right, back to our attack token. Ooh, Evelynn's even going to be on front side, so we can open and then rally afterwards if we want. You done, guy. There we go. GG. All right, good stuff.
I love it. I want more.
So let's see. The post-battle stuff, don't really want any of it. I guess loading up the Warden's Prey with +1/+1 isn't terrible. Into the champion item chest. Whatever we take, we're going to want to put it on Evelynn. When I'm summoned, double my power and my health. Of course, exceptionally strong. But I'm curious if we should just... Well, I saw the elusive and was like, well, we should probably just pick up the elusive to kind of guarantee that she has the evasive measure. But she has the overwhelm equipment, and so that should be enough. So let's do pick up the Black Cleaver. Make Evelynn pretty monstrous. Head into the healer, looking to just cut a card. Void Seeker's okay. The Viper Worm could go. Yeah, it's looking like the Viper Worm. I want to keep our interactivity in these stuns. Steam's fine, I guess. The Prankster's never getting cut. 8 Spike and the like. Okay. Viper Worm, you're gone. On to Draven. And so, at the round end, the foe summons Draven if he isn't in play. When Draven attacks, you give him +1 attack and double attack. The endless Dravens coming at us. So what do we got? We got an Evelynn. It's tempting to hang on to a Phantom Prankster because it's so good here. All right, maybe we do. And then we'll look for a Husk with our other cards. Salter comes up, just a perfect draw. Okay, pretty free attack. Surprised to see opponent block, but, you know, we'll take it. Don't want to play the Snapper, though. I want our units dying to be these Husks, so we get to keep building up the keywords and the stats and everything. The Thrashing Snappers is not really going to add much to the table.
It's good to be the king.
Ooh, is this now going to... I want to be acquiring the Arena Kingpin since it doesn't just go away. Or, like, if we take the Draven, he's just going to come right back next turn, right? Probably should have killed off this Thrashing Snapper last turn. But I think we're doing okay. We'll do it now. Yeah, we let it slip there. Let's not let it slip anymore.
Time for the moneymaker.
Time for the moneymaker. Spinning Axe is coming in. All right, and then I think we want to get the Draven off of the board. And so what the angle is here is we know Draven's going to come back at round end. That's okay. But next turn, we should just either be able to play a gigantic Evelynn, or we should be able to like block and not take any damage. But here on the attack, he's going to have a pretty good block, and so a little bit worried about that. Now, I think we're pretty well set. The big thing with next turn is, right, we have Evelynn. She's going to give us the big stats and everything's going to boost. We're going to get the rally. And then we also have the second Evelynn to use the last caress with, so we can strike something down.
Sharpen the blade, secure the kill.
Was hoping you'd stop by. She's been missing you. Has she?
Alright, how big are the stats gonna be? Looks like she just doubled before the husks landed. That's a little bit unfortunate, but
A little more.
she's still gonna be an absolute monster here.
Scream for me.
Face me.
Now we're cooking.
Now we're cooking. Alright, well, I definitely want to be blocking. He's only got one spinning axe at this point. I don't know if he plays weird stuff like survival skills, right? Survival skills would be a way for a opponent to make sure the Draven doesn't die. And so I want to put a blocker in front of him, but then give him the opportunity to play additional cards if that's what we need to worry about. Alright, he gets a fresh Draven, but that's not a big deal.
What does he want from me? Time for the
How
money.
many axes does he have? He has 2 in hand. I'm a little afraid to attack with the Phantom Prankster. He just needs like one more card, but YOLO. Am I right? I'm right. Okay, so we should be good here. The Evelynn at 13 attack. Opponent only has 3 or 4 health on the board. We have the last caress in hand in the event that they're going to have like a whirling death, but I think we can play some more cards before we get into combat. Let's just add in the Prankster. That should all but seal the deal, I think.
You pay, I fight. I gotta get out of here. This is gonna hurt for you.
He's dropping some spinning axes. I think we're good. Neg 19 into 8. Seems like we should be doing enough here. And GG. So yeah, not a bad takedown. A nice little run against Draven. We did have to revive there in the middle. Surprisingly, it was a game where we didn't draw Evelynn, and that's why we're here trying to maximize our ability to draw it. And so you're going to see this kind of strategy throughout the remainder of our builds as to where we're starting with the Chameleon's Necklace, and we're going to chase after all the champion item chests. I don't feel like Evelynn is to the point of Teemo. Right, if you remember our Teemo runs, we were just conceding in the beginning and restarting to get the draw 2 cards power, because you do have 3 or 4 turns to draw Evelynn before it's bad. Whereas Teemo, you had to have him on turn 1. But I think we're getting a pretty decent strategy pieced together here, and hopefully that's making its way across to you. And so that will do it for us today. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.